Hello everyone, welcome to Road to Retire, the channel where I try to retire early, pretty self-explanatory. And I've talked about side hustles, mostly dataannotation.tech, remote task, YouTube, and a couple others on my channel very much. But I always talk how the whole point of this channel is to retire early, and a big part of that is through side hustles. But the question is, once I do a side hustle, where exactly does that money go? Now, I can tell you right up front that a single dime from my side hustles does not hit my personal checking account at all. So you're probably sitting there saying, well, Road to Retire, I'm guessing you put it towards a retirement account since that is your whole goal, right? To retire early. So quick answer is yes and no. So yes, I want to do side hustles to retire early. And while I'm technically building up as much wealth as possible through side hustles, it's not necessarily the end goal for where it's going. It's kind of early retirement is more of what I would deem a symptom of the process that I'm trying to do. So let's get into it. Normally, a person would think, well, if you're saving for like early retirement and you're not putting a single dime on these side hustles into your personal checking to pay for bills or anything, it's probably going to like a S&P 500 fund or the stock market, somewhere where you can invest and let your money grow over time. And, since this isn't your like 401k, it's extra money, you can let it grow to your like 50, which is my target retirement age, and then cash it out then. And bada bing, bada boom. That would be the more traditional way of going about it. But since early retirement is more of a dream and it would be a symptom of where I'm putting my money, that's not what I'm doing right now. So what I'm doing right now is I am taking full advantage of these high interest rates. Now, how am I doing that? With my wife and I's combined high yield savings account. I cannot stress enough how important a high yield savings account is to my wealth building right now. So I'm not going to push a platform or anything. There's plenty of them out there and they're all earning good interest rates right now. At least any half reputable ones are earning a high interest rate. The one that I'm personally in, I'm actually in two separate accounts. They are both earning north of 4.3% interest. Now, unlike the stock market, this is risk-free returns. Considering that these accounts, you can put up to $250,000 in them and it's insured by the federal government. So if the bank were to go belly up, as long as you don't have more than that $250K in the account, you are going to get your money back. Your money is guaranteed. It is safe and sound. So that 4% plus return that I'm getting on my money right now is completely risk-free. Now, obviously there's taxes on it, but you are not at any risk of losing any initial principal putting into your high yield savings account. And both accounts that I have right now, I'm able to withdraw at least 6 times a month, which is more. I try not to withdraw at all, but let's get into that too. So every single penny that I earn from side hustles, such as dataannotation.tech or something along those lines, is going to my wife and I's combined joint high yield savings account. Every single penny I want to grow right now. And here is the game plan going forward. So right now, while these high yield interest savings accounts are earning north of 4%, every dime from side hustles is going into there. Now, these rates are not going to last forever. They are never going to be this high for this long of a time unless there's some extreme condition that happens in the United States. The rates are going to drop. Mortgage rates will drop, the borrowing will drop. And when all of that happens, the interest rates on these high yield savings accounts will also drop. Around the time of COVID, these interest rates or these high yield savings accounts that I were in were paying a whopping 0.5%, like absolute pathetic returns, while the stock market during COVID, when they were printing money, was skyrocketing. Everything that like could be making money was making money. You even had crap like NFTs and crypto making money during that time. And then the high yield savings accounts did crap because the interest rates were so low, which is usually an indicator for the stock market to go higher. And that's kind of what the stock market is like dependent on right now. They're dependent on rates to go lower from the Federal Reserve, but that's all speculation at this point. But it's pretty common opinion at this point that interest rates are going to drop in the future. They're not going to stay this high for a very long time, maybe a year or so. But eventually, when these rates go below 2.5%, that's when all of my side hustle money will be going towards the house instead, because right now The mortgage that I currently have is 5.625%. So that is a high interest rate, maybe not high comparative to today's times, but it is higher in general. So my plan is right now, fund that high yield savings account, get that wealth building up as much as possible. And then once that switches, go back to the house. Now, it depends on how fast that transition takes place. Down the line, I would love to pay the house off really, really early and then focus, doesn't matter what the percentage return is at that time, focus all my money into the high yield savings account that my wife and I are incredibly generous with our savings and our income. We save 50% of our income right now. We're both working. We are expecting a kid next year, but right now we don't have a kid. So we are just stacking chips as much as we possibly can right now. We have 2 savings accounts, like I said. The first savings account we are not touching. The second savings account we are using for big expenses, like maybe we need a new roof or a new water heater, something for the future kid or kids. Something along those lines. We are not going to be afraid to take money out, which is why I'm saying that if I do get to my early retirement goal, it's going to be more of a symptom of me just building a huge, massive amount of wealth and cash that I'm able to get into a position where I can fund aggressive funds later. But as of right now, I'm just stacking my chips, as I would love to say. I'm just hoarding cash is the better term for it right now. And I feel like anyone who is saving a lot of their income, like my wife and I are currently doing, you are crazy not to have a high yield savings account. There is no reason to not take out a free 4+% gain right now. Free return on your money with no risk, backed by the federal government. If the federal government goes under, we have way more problems than trying to save up our side hustle money, right? There's going to be zombies out the window or something like that. But that is just what I'm doing with my side hustle. I don't see a single dime hit my personal checking account. I should say it does, but I immediately move it into a high yield savings account, make my money earn money. That's as passive as it gets. Yeah, I had to earn the money in the first place, but I don't have to do anything for my money to grow at a 4% clip. Just put it into the account and watch it grow. And it's pretty crazy with how much my wife and I save from both our day jobs and from my side hustles, that how much we are getting just from this interest. I mean, there's been some months where we're close to $1,000 a month coming from just a high yield savings account because we've saved so much money over the years. And that's what we felt we should be doing, considering we are in our early 30s and we don't have a kid yet. Why would you be stupid and blow all your money? There's going to be plenty of time for us to make more memories and experiences and vacations and trips and all that, and it'll be even more fruitful when we have our kid. So every single penny is going to a high yield savings account, and that is where we're going to be until the high yield savings accounts start paying out a lot less. Then we pay off the house early and we go from there. And this is not necessarily a genius way to try and retire early. However, I feel like this is the way to go about life, because if I get fired from my job tomorrow, I know that I have a hoard of cash behind me that I don't need to panic. And it's a comforting feeling knowing that I can touch that money if I need be. It's not like in a 401k, which I do have, by the way, and it's all equity. So there is my investment into the stock market, all my 401ks and investments in equities. But it's very nice, comforting knowing that I can spend the money that I'm hoarding this cash on my side hustles on, that my side hustles are kind of protecting my future versus maybe not necessarily forwarding my retirement at this moment. But when I do get to the point where the house is paid off and we go super aggressive into the side hustles, who knows, maybe YouTube will blow up for me at that time. I don't know the future. Who knows what the future is going to entail. Maybe I'll be making a lot more money, and early retirement is definitely feasible at 50. We'll see. That's my pipe dream right now, is to retire at 50 and then hike all the national parks in the United States. I got to hoard a lot more cash than what I have now for that to become a reality. But once the house is paid off and we start feeding everything into that fund, who knows, right? The world doesn't know what's in store for me. So hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you have a high yield savings account, and I'll see everyone in the next video.